This is Careers Cast, a podcast for students and early career professionals who want to develop a successful and meaningful long-term career in technology. I'm your host, Marcio Saito. Welcome to Careers Cast. When I look back into my career and the observation of hundreds of interviews I conducted, it becomes obvious that it is one occasion where time invested in preparation would bring a huge return in opportunity and outcome. If you're gonna get one single thing from this episode, I'd like it to be that preparation before a job interview is the best investment of time you can make in your career. Just don't wing it. I will now play a conversation on my blog post on how to prepare for a job interview. I'll come back live after that with insights on the psychology of interviewers and how you can set yourself for a confident and successful performance. Now enjoy the overview.
All right, so are you ready to kind of like rethink how you approach job interviews? We're doing a deep dive today into this blog post by Marcio Saito.
Okay.
He's this tech veteran who's interviewed like hundreds of candidates.
Yeah.
And he has some really insightful advice.
Cool.
The thing that like really caught my eye was his idea that you should think of an interview as like a performance.
Oh, wow.
It's like you're on stage kind of showcasing your skills and experience.
Yeah, that's a really, it's a fascinating perspective, I think.
Right.
Yeah. It's not about being someone you're not.
Right.
It's about how to highlight your strengths in a way that resonates with like the audience.
Yeah.
Which in this case is like your potential employer.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. So you're still being authentically you.
Yeah.
But you're also being strategic about it.
Right?
You know, presenting yourself in the best possible light.
Yeah.
It's like preparing for any other important presentation, right? You practice and you refine your message and you make sure you're coming across confidently and clearly.
Exactly. And Marcio's advice really digs into that whole preparation process, starting with the very first step, which is applying for jobs.
Right. 'Cause even before you get to the interview stage, there's a lot you can do to like stand out from the crowd, right?
Right.
And he has some interesting tips about tailoring your resume and using specific keywords from the job description.
Yeah.
Does that strategy really work?
Oh, yeah.
I always wondered if hiring managers actually pay attention to those things.
They absolutely do, especially with the rise of applicant tracking systems, or what we call ATS.
Okay.
These systems are designed to scan resumes for keywords that match the job requirements.
Oh.
So strategically incorporating those keywords into your resume can significantly increase your chances of actually getting noticed.
That makes total sense. It's like using the right SEO keywords to get your website ranked higher in search results. So you're basically optimizing your resume for the hiring manager's search.
Precisely. I like it. And speaking of getting noticed, Marcio also makes a really compelling case for networking and referrals.
Yeah.
He believes they're far more effective than just applying online.
Well, it's no secret that who you knows can sometimes open doors.
Right.
But how do you actually make those connections work for you?
Yeah.
It feels so intimidating to just reach out to people you don't know and ask for favors.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Okay.
Think of networking more as like building relationships,
Okay.
not just like asking for handouts.
Yeah.
It's about showcasing your skills and your enthusiasm in a way that sparks genuine interest.
Okay.
And for those moments when you do have a chance to like connect with someone, it's helpful to have a concise and compelling elevator pitch ready.
So kind of like a mini performance where you
Yeah.
highlight your most relevant skills and experience in a way that grabs their attention.
Exactly. It's about leaving them wanting to know more.
Yeah.
And once you've landed that interview, Marcio has some fantastic insights on how to like nail that performance aspect.
This is where it gets really interesting. He talks about shifting to a positive mindset,
Yeah.
almost like assuming the interviewers already want to hire you.
Right.
Is that just like a psychological trick or is there something more to it?
It's more about aligning your mindset with the reality of the situation.
Okay.
Companies invest a lot of time and resources into finding the right candidates.
Right.
They're not just looking to fill a seat. They want someone who will contribute and thrive in the role.
Yeah.
So it's actually in their best interest to find someone who's a good fit.
Yeah.
And that starts with you believing in yourself and your abilities.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
So you're not just going in there trying to impress them.
Yeah.
You're also assessing whether this is the right opportunity for you.
Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
two-way street.
I like that.
Yeah. And to make sure you're putting your best foot forward.
Right.
Marcio stresses the importance of preparation.
Okay.
He even recommends doing mock interviews to practice your responses and get comfortable with the format. It might feel a little silly at first, but it can be incredibly helpful in identifying any areas where you might stumble or get nervous.
Kind of like rehearsing your lines before opening night.
Precisely. You want to feel confident and prepared so that when you walk into that interview, you can focus on connecting with the interviewers and showcasing your skills in a genuine and authentic way.
So let's dive into some of the common interview questions that Marcio outlines.
Okay.
He starts with the classic, tell me about yourself,
Yeah.
which I think is a question that everyone dreads, even seasoned professionals.
Yeah, it can be a daunting question,
Totally.
but it's also a fantastic opportunity to set the stage and tell your story in a way that highlights your most relevant skills and experiences.
Yeah.
Think of it as crafting a compelling narrative,
Okay.
a mini performance that captures their attention and makes them want to learn more.
So it's not just about listing your accomplishments. It's about connecting the dots and showing how your journey has led you to this point.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that you've thought about your career path and how your skills and experiences align with the company's needs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, what about those tricky factual questions where they're testing your knowledge about a specific software or methodology?
Yeah.
What if you don't have experience in that particular area?
Yeah.
Should you try to bluff your way through it?
You know, honesty is always the best policy.
Okay.
Trying to fake expertise that you don't have can backfire spectacularly.
Yeah.
Instead, frame your response in a way that highlights your willingness to learn and adapt.
Okay.
For example, you could say, while my experience is primarily in, whatever area of expertise,
Right.
I'm a quick learner and I'm eager to expand my knowledge in, whatever they're asking about.
So you're acknowledging the gap in your knowledge, but also emphasizing your eagerness to grow and develop new skills. It's like turning a potential weakness into a positive.
Precisely. It shows that you're adaptable and open to new challenges, which are really valuable qualities in any candidate. And speaking of challenges, Marcio also dedicates a section to those dreaded behavioral questions.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that start with, tell me about a time when...
Oh, God, those can be tough because you have to think on your feet and come up with a relevant anecdote that demonstrates your skills and experience.
It's where preparation and practice really pay off.
Yeah.
Marcio recommends creating a story bank of your own experiences, using the STAR framework to structure your responses.
STAR as in situation, task, action, and result.
Exactly. It's a really helpful framework for ensuring that you're providing a clear and concise narrative
Right.
that highlights your accomplishments and how you've handled specific challenges.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this whole performance analogy really comes into play.
Yeah.
You're basically creating a repertoire of stories that you can draw on to showcase your skills and experience in a compelling way.
Precisely. And when you approach interviews with this mindset, you're not just trying to answer questions.
Yeah.
You're telling your story and demonstrating your value.
Now, moving on to the section about role-specific knowledge.
Okay.
What if they ask a question about something you're not familiar with?
Again, honesty is key.
Okay.
Don't try to pretend you know something that you don't.
Yeah.
Instead, be upfront about your lack of experience in that particular area, but express your enthusiasm for learning new things.
Okay.
You could say something like, while I haven't worked with that specific software, I'm confident that I can quickly get up to speed, especially given my experience with similar tools.
So you're acknowledging the gap in your knowledge, but also highlighting your ability to learn and adapt.
Exactly. It's about showcasing your growth mindset and your willingness to embrace new challenges.
So it sounds like a lot of this comes down to confidence and how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Marcy also talks about the importance of asking thoughtful questions at the end of the interview and really closing the deal.
Yeah.
Any advice on how to make a lasting impression?
Well, asking insightful questions not only demonstrates your engagement, but it also gives you valuable information about the role and the company culture.
Oh.
Marcio suggests focusing on questions that reveal the company's priorities
Okay.
and how success is measured.
Go.
For instance, you could ask, what are the key performance indicators for this role?
Okay.
And how does the company measure success?
That's a great example. It shows that you're thinking beyond just getting the job.
Yeah.
You're genuinely interested in contributing to the company's goals.
Exactly. And when it comes to closing, reiterate your enthusiasm for the role and summarize why you believe you're a great fit.
Yeah.
It's like giving a final performance that leaves them wanting more.
So it's about highlighting your value and making it clear that you're excited about the opportunity. But what about the elephant in the room, rejection?
Yeah.
Marcio dedicates a whole section to what if I get a trust?
Right.
His perspective is surprisingly positive.
What's refreshing about Marcio's approach is his emphasis on trust.
Oh, okay.
Trust the process. Trust that the interviewers are trying to make the best decision for their company.
Right.
And trust that even a no can be a valuable learning experience.
Yeah, he actually encourages seeing rejections as opportunities to refine your approach
Yeah.
and learn what works best for you. It's like getting feedback on a performance. It might not always be what you want to hear,
Right.
but it can help you grow and improve.
Exactly. Every interview, regardless of the outcome,
Yeah.
provides valuable insights that can help you become a more confident and effective interviewer.
Okay.
And that leads us to Marcio's final section, which is follow-up action.
Okay.
He breaks down the key steps for job seekers
Right.
to maximize their chances of success after the interview.
So he really stresses the importance of preparation.
Yeah.
Not just for the interview itself, but for the entire process.
From researching the company and tailoring your resume to
Right.
practicing your responses and following up afterward, every step is an opportunity to showcase your professionalism and enthusiasm.
Right.
And don't underestimate the power of a well-crafted follow-up email after the interview.
Oh, yeah.
Reiterate your interest.
Okay.
Thank the interviewers for their time,
Mm.
and perhaps even mention something specific that you discussed that resonated with you.
So it's a chance to reinforce that connection you made during the interview
Exactly.
and leave them with a positive final impression.
Precisely. And remember, the job search process is a two-way street.
Right.
You're not just trying to impress them.
Right.
You're also assessing whether the company and the role are a good fit for you.
So true. It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where your skills and aspirations align with the company's needs and values.
And that brings us back to Marcio's core message. Authenticity is paramount.
Be yourself. Showcase your strengths and let your personality shine through.
Because at the end of the day, the right company will appreciate you for who you are,
Right.
not who you pretend to be.
So to recap, job interviews are indeed a performance,
Yes.
but one where the best script is the one that's true to yourself.
Prepare diligently, practice your lines.
Okay.
But never lose sight of your authentic voice.
Because when you're genuine, your passion and enthusiasm will shine through, making you a memorable and compelling candidate.
And remember, the job search journey is as much about self-discovery as it is about landing a job. It's a chance to clarify your goals, identify your strengths,
Right.
and gain invaluable experience that will serve you well throughout your career.
So what does this all mean for you, dear listener, as you gear up for your next interview? Remember, it's not just about getting the job.
Yeah.
It's about presenting the best version of yourself, confidently articulating your value, and finding a role where you can truly thrive.
It's about embracing the challenge, learning from every experience, and ultimately shaping a career path that aligns with your passions and purpose. And here's a final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
Preparing for interviews isn't just about landing a job. It's about clarifying your own goals and values.
What kind of work environment do you thrive in? What impact do you want to make? What skills do you want to develop? These are questions worth pondering, even if you're not actively job hunting.
Because when you know what you want, you're better equipped to find it.
Yeah, it's so true. The job search can be like a real journey of self-discovery. But let's face it, the process can feel overwhelming,
Right.
especially for seasoned professionals who are navigating like a more complex landscape these days.
Absolutely. The challenges and expectations definitely change as you progress in your career.
Right.
You're no longer just proving your technical skills. Now you're demonstrating leadership, strategic thinking, and the ability to navigate complex situations.
So how does Marcio's advice apply to those seeking like more senior roles or those looking to make a significant career transition?
That's where the performance analogy, I think, becomes even more relevant.
Okay.
Think of it as stepping onto a bigger stage with a more demanding audience.
Okay.
You need to showcase a broader range of skills and experiences, and your preparation needs to be even more strategic.
For example, salary negotiations become a crucial part of the performance. How do you approach that conversation in a way that reflects your value without seeming demanding or unrealistic?
I think preparation is key.
Okay.
Research industry benchmarks for similar roles.
Okay.
And be prepared to articulate your unique contributions and how they align with the company's goals.
Right.
It's not just about stating a number.
Right.
It's about demonstrating your worth.
So it's like presenting a compelling case for why you deserve that compensation.
Exactly.
Almost like you're pitching a project or a new initiative.
Exactly. And remember, negotiation is a dance.
Okay.
Be confident in your worth, but also be willing to listen and find a compromise that works for both parties.
Another challenge for experienced professionals is showcasing leadership skills,
Right.
especially if you haven't had formal management experience.
Mm-hmm.
How do you highlight those qualities in a way that resonates with hiring managers?
Think about situations where you've taken initiative-influenced outcomes or mentored others,
Okay.
even if it wasn't in a formal leadership capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Use that STAR framework to tell those stories in a way that highlights your leadership potential.
So it's about framing your experiences in a way that demonstrates those transferable skills,
Right.
even if they weren't part of your official job title.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to ask insightful questions that reveal your understanding of the company's challenges and how you can contribute to solutions.
Okay.
For instance, you could ask, what are the biggest leadership challenges facing this team?
Okay.
And how do you envision this role contributing to overcoming them?
That's a powerful question.
Yeah.
It shows that you're not just thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the bigger picture
Mm-hmm.
and how you can add value.
Exactly. And for those considering a career transition, highlighting those transferable skills becomes even more critical.
Right.
It's about connecting the dots between your past experiences and how they can translate to success in a new industry or role.
So you're essentially reframing your narrative to showcase how your skills and experiences are relevant to this new path you're pursuing.
Precisely. And remember, the job search is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
There will be setbacks and rejections along the way,
Mm-hmm.
but it's important to maintain a positive mindset and learn from every experience.
And ultimately, as Marcio emphasizes, it's about finding a role where you can truly thrive, a place where your skills and passions align with the company's mission and values.
Because when you're in the right role, it's not just a job.
Right.
It's an opportunity to make a meaningful contribution and grow both personally and professionally.
So to our listener, as you embark on your job search journey, remember that you have a unique story to tell, valuable skills to offer, and the power to shape your own career path.
Embrace the performance, but never lose sight of your authentic self.
Okay.
Prepare diligently, showcase your strengths, and believe in your ability to achieve your goals.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but we hope you found these insights from Marcio Saito helpful.
Yeah, we had fun exploring his blog post with you.
This is Marcio back live. Before we end this episode, I would like to share with you the perspective of a hiring manager and give you insight into the psychology of a hiring process. Hiring well is one of the most important and most expensive tasks for a manager. In addition to the time spent in the search, companies pay somewhere between 20 and 40% of the role's annual salary just in search and recruiting fees. When I was hiring for my team, I would typically spend weeks in the process, scan dozens of resumes selected by my recruiter, and interview 4 to 10 candidates before I would make an offer. Hiring the wrong person incurs major headaches. Not only do I have to spend the time and money again, but I also have to deal with the removal of the non-performing employee from the role, one of the most dreadful things a manager has to do. I'm sharing this with you so that you realize that when you sit down for a job interview, the hiring manager is at least as nervous as you are about making the right decision. There is nothing they want more than for you to be the right candidate for the job and end the search process. While being nervous during a job interview is normal and expected, put yourself in the frame of mind that the people interviewing you want you to be successful. So, as long as you present yourself as a good human, capable of learning and eventually doing the job, everyone in the room is cheering for you. Please take the time to read the original blog post, share and subscribe to this podcast. Happy interviewing, and see you in the next episode.